Hey, so I decided to order some of these flash units here. Let's see, these right here. These are the Pixel Enterprises night triggers. They're just regular. They are Canon E-TTL triggers. They're basically the Chinese specials, but they're $150 on Gadget Infinity. So I thought I would go for it. Pay no attention to the mail. There's all sorts of crap. Anyways, so this thing is supposed to be able to fire off E-TTL flashes. And they're supposed to be cheap. So this is what I've got. I am kind of poor, and I don't feel like spending, $400 to $500 on a 580 EX2. So I bought this for seriously cheap. It is a Sunpak, and my camera won't focus that close, but it is a Sunpak Digiflash2800. It is somewhere there's a sticker on here. It says Canon E-TTL II, and this is basically just a cheap, low-power version of a 580 or whatever equivalent there is. But here's the downside. This will not fire based on any method that I found off camera other than a TTL cord. So I had still have a set of Cactus V4s. Those don't work. These new ones, I was hoping that they would work, but it seems that they do not. So here is the night transmitter and the night receiver, and they're just kind of cheap little units. They have a backlight, 5 channels, or 5 groups, several channels, and different TTL modes. So you can go in. Let's see if I can refocus my camera here. I cannot. So hold the set button, change groups, and then there is a 5D function specifically for that camera, but 5 groups and then that. Then if we go over to power, TTL mode is the normal, and then there's TTL is basically TTL/full blast, and then you can go all the way down to 8th, 16th, 32nd, 64th, 128th, and then off. We're going to leave it on TTL mode right now, and we'll just let that turn off or get set back to normal. So as you can see, channel 1, this is set to group A, channel 1, and I really apologize for the lack of autofocus on my camera. My phone apparently does not have that. So the Sunpak failed miserably, not working very well. Actually, doesn't work at all. Next up is my LumoPro LP160. This is the current strobist MPEX LumoPro, whatever offering. Got 2 of these. They are rock solid. You cannot beat them for the price, especially since they could sync via hot shoe and the 2 3.5mm and PC jack plus an optical slave. So they're nice, very nice little units. They feel pretty hefty, so they're good units. So here's the deal. We've got my 20D, which is sadly, it seems, not supported by this trigger set in the TTL mode. So we're kind of stuck with that. Let's see, let me go ahead and flip out my little stand here. Okay, stare at the ugly tablecloth for a little bit. So, come on, get on there. That was my finger. I'm not very good at this. So, here is the shoe or the receiver on the LumoPro, right there. It comes with this weird little stand, but as you can see, not very good. So, what we're gonna do, actually, pause that real quick, and we're back. I just got the LumoPro shoe for that, so it can actually stand up. What we're gonna do here is take a couple of test shots of random crap on my kitchen island. So 20D is still on, and we're just going to shoot that. So that's what we're looking at without the flash on, and that is at 1/100th 3.5 aperture. That was shot on just aperture mode. What we will do, turn on the old LumoPro, and that is blasting at full power right now at just the standard 35mm beam spread. And just for comparison's sake, so that blasted it pretty well. So far these things are reliably firing. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Let's go over to manual, and we will set that at 200th of a second, because that's usually what my camera syncs at, and we will go to f5.6 full blast. I think that's still going to be a little much. Yeah. So let's knock the power down to 1/8. That should be a good, reasonable facsimile of a decent light. It's a little dark, but as you can see, it is firing. We'll go to quarter power. This whole through the viewfinder thing is kind of weird. That one actually misfired a little. That one definitely misfired. And again. So it is not, at this point, syncing up, which is kind of weird because that's not what all of my tests had shown. Let's aim a little bit further out. Still, same thing. We're actually only getting the bottom portion of it once you knock down the power. Let's see if it does that on half power. We get half the screen. So, put this back to full power so it dumps everything all at once. And once again there we get a full exposure. It's just obviously blown out. So, just for the sake of it all, just grab a value, f11. So f11, everything exposes, which you can't really see because of my crappy autofocus, but everything is there, the full frame is there. So, oddly enough, these ugly little bastards do not like to handle the LumoPro at a lower rate. I think it's because the flash duration, once you lower that down, definitely gets a little bit longer. So the tail is only being caught. It's just the tail. So kind of bizarre. But here's the other interesting thing. This is why I actually grabbed my recording device, so to speak. We will pop this over to shutter priority. Now here's the weird thing. Yes, that is set at 1/5000th of a second. We have the LumoPro still set at full power, I believe. Yes, we do. I apologize, I'm really bad at this video thing too. So we will shoot 1/50 or 1/5000th of a second. And what we have here, you can't really see because blurriness, but it actually got most of the frame. Now the interesting thing is, during my tests, most shots at 1/5000th of a second were just like that. It's blurry, but as you can see, there's no banding at the bottom. The LumoPro says that it can shoot up to 1/8,000th of a second. So, granted, that's on faster or on newer chipsets like the Digit 3 processors that are under 30 and above, if I remember correctly. So, that's really what this thing is geared for. It's not made for this older camera, non-Canon flash. In fact, certain modes only apply to the 580 EX2 series. So, overall, $150 plus $20 shipping for me, not necessarily worth it. However, that high-speed sync, fake high-speed sync, is kind of cool. And I will go outside, take a couple of test shots because it's fairly bright for once here in Sacramento. So I'll go out and do some test shots, and I'll put those in the video as well. So we'll see what it captures. And again, I apologize about the house. This is just a process. So we'll see what this does. And just for a reference, this is what my backyard is looking like right now. Fairly bright. So we'll see what kind of sync this actually will get at 5,000th of a second. I got one or two decent frames at 1/8000th of a second, but most of them banded at the bottom. So figure that's where it's most reliable. I think that the transmitter is just not smart enough to make up for the fact that the camera is not smart enough to be compatible with it. So we will see. We will see what happens. Peace.